Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen Beginner's Guide. In this video, you are going to learn what exactly a hangar is, how to select a hangar, how to set up your ships inside your hangar, and how to get around when you're walking around and looking at all your cool looking ships. So let's start with the very basics. Your hangar is basically, well, it's your home. It's your base of operations as you do whatever you do in the Star Citizen universe. It is also a garage where you park your ships. Now, if you have a ship and it's too large to fit inside your hangar, because there are some space limitations, if it's too large to fit, it will be parked in a platform just outside your hangar, or it'll be in orbit around the planet that you're situated on at that time. You will eventually be able to invite your friends into your hangar where you can all get together and socialize, and you can show off your ships. You can show off any artifacts you've collected from various planets and any racing awards if that's your thing. Now, one thing that would be really neat to do in your hangar would be to meet with your friends and plan out what adventures you're going to go on together. Or if you belong to a organization, you can host meetings for your organization in each other's hangar. Your hangar is also where you will be outfitting your ships with weapons, shields, tweaking various components on your ship to make it more powerful, more efficient. And this is also where you will be doing repairs on your ship. And eventually, there will be repair robots that assist you in the repairs to your ship. Now, the question oftentimes comes up in the RSI online forums along the lines of, which hangar should I get? And currently, functionally, as far as what your hangar is able to do for you, there really isn't any difference between any of the four hangars that are currently available. Basically, it comes down to your personal preference as far as the look of each hangar. If you go back and look at part 5 of this Beginner's Guide series, there is a section in there where I talk about hangars, and I give a really brief tour of all 4 of the hangars that are available right now. Now, there are some limitations as far as where particular hangars will exist in the Star Citizen universe. For example, if you get a fancy hangar like the Revel in New York, that hangar will exist on planets that are fairly well established. You're not going to find a fancy hangar like the Revel in New York in a brand new established colony on some faraway planet on the frontier of known space, because the resources simply will not be available to build such a hangar. So you'll find the fancier ones on places like Earth or Alpha Centauri, places that have been colonized for centuries. There's also the consideration of what occupation you plan to pursue. For example, if you wanted to become a lawless pirate, the asteroid hangar might be more suitable for you. Those are fairly common in the very outer fringes of known space, where the UEE doesn't really have much pull. It's more of a lawless region of space. So the asteroid hangar would be more appropriate for that particular occupation. But again, it all comes down to personal preference. At this point, that is. Now, another question that comes up is, how many ships can I fit inside my hangar? Well, currently, the way the hangars are set up is you start out with an empty hangar, and here's a real simple diagram I made to represent your hangar. And as you buy ships, you place them in each bay in your hangar, and each bay can hold up to 3 ships. Now, once a bay is filled with ships, whether they're small, medium, or large, your hangar will automatically expand out to another side bay, like this. And then as you fit more and more ships into your hangar, more and more bays are added to your hangar as you add more ships. Now, you don't have to load your hangar bays in such a way that you have to fill each one up one at a time. And what I mean by that is you can put 1 ship in one bay, 3 ships in another, 2 ships in another bay, and so on. So you have a little bit of flexibility as far as how you want your ships to be displayed within your hangar. Oh, and on a related note, there is talk of modifying the hangar system where your ships are basically underground and they're brought up to the surface on sort of a carousel type system. But that's sort of still up in the air. So how do you set up your ships in your hangar? Well, it's pretty simple. You go to the RSI homepage, and over there on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the My RSI menu. And when you click on that, the drop-down menu appears where you can go to My Hangar. And if you click on the My RSI menu from any other part of the RSI website, it will look like this. Once you click on that menu, you'll be taken to your hangar account page. And at the top of this page, you'll be shown which hangar is currently active, if you've made one active. And then down below that, you'll be shown a list of all your ships. And you can modify what's displayed here to show all the items you have, your game packages, just your ships, any upgrades you've gotten, your hangar decorations, your shields, or your weapons. And I would imagine this menu is going to expand as Star Citizen becomes developed further. Now, going back up to the top, if you click on the hangar log button right here, that will show you a list of everything you've gotten so far, sorted in chronological order. And if you click on the configuration button right here, you will be taken to a brand new screen where you could select which hangar you want to become active. Now, you can only have one hangar active at any particular time. That may change in the future as the game is further developed, but for now, it's just one hangar at a time. So you click on which hangar you want to be active, in this case, the Revel in New York, and then if you scroll down below that, you'll see all the ships that you have on the left there, and on the right, all the hangar bays in your hangar, where you can place your ships. Now, something to keep in mind is each ship that you have has a size designation, small, medium, or large. And it's always indicated just to the right of the picture of the ship like this. Each bay in your hangar, similarly, has size restrictions as far as what size ships you can store on them. The way things are set up now is, in each bay of your hangar, you can either have 3 small ships, 1 medium, or 1 large ship. Now, you may be wondering, what do all these names mean, like left side bay and right outer bay and center bay? What does all that mean? Well, I have recycled that other diagram that I made to make a brand new diagram to show you what all that means. So here we go. Now, the center bay is the bay that you first appear in when you go into your hangar. This is the one that has your flight simulator pod. It has the holo table. Upstairs it has all your offices, your computer consoles, and so on. The left side bay and right side bay are the ones right adjacent to the center bay on the left and right. And the outer bays are the ones out beyond those. So this should clear that up pretty well. So how do you move your ships into a particular bay? Well, that's pretty straightforward. You just click and drag. For example, let's say you want to move the 300i over to the central bay, over here on the right-hand side. You just click on the picture of the ship and drag it over on top of the empty bay where the central bay is located, like this. And then let go, and it will be parked in that position. Now, if you pay careful attention, you notice that the central bay beforehand said empty. And now that the 300i is parked there, it says available, and one of the S's over here on the right-hand side has become highlighted, as you can see right here. So what this means is you have room for 2 more small ships to be put inside this hangar. Now, it's easy to become confused at this point. Some people think, well, I can put a small and a medium and a large, right? Well, no, you can't. You can fit only 3 small ships in a particular bay, or one medium or one large. For example, in the central bay, you can have it configured something like this. Or with one medium-sized ship, you could have it filled with this. Notice right there by the status, it says full in green. Or you can have one large ship like this one, and again, it indicates that the status is full. You can also mix up what size ships you have in any one particular hangar. Like this, for example. Now, one thing that causes a lot of confusion for beginners is they'll have a ship that they bought, okay, but it doesn't show up on the list of ships that you can place inside your hangar. For example, way back in November 2014, I bought the Drake Herald. As you can see here, here's my receipt. Now, I know I bought it, but it will not show up on that list. Okay, why not? Well, what you have to realize is that all the ships that are being built for Star Citizen pass through 3 generalized stages of ship development. And I'm going to go over these right now. When a ship first goes on sale, it's usually called a concept sale. And what this means is that the overall design of the ship is pretty much done, although some changes may take place later on. However, the ship is in enough of a stage of development that they can show us what the ship looks like, and we can get an idea of if we want to buy it or not. So this is typically when a ship first goes on sale during a concept sale. However, concept ships are not yet ready to be placed in your hangar. They're just not at that design stage yet. So in the case of my Drake Herald that I referred to earlier, I bought that ship during a concept sale. Hence, it is not on the list of ships that I could place inside my hangar yet. The next general stage is hangar ready. This means that the overall design of the ship is basically complete and it's ready to be placed inside your hangar. All the character animations for having your character interact with that ship are basically finished too. Now at this stage, the ship will typically go on sale for a second time, and sometimes will remain on sale. Whereas concept sales, those usually are very, very short, maybe a week, maybe 10 days, and then they're taken off sale. And this also explains why when you're looking at all the ships on the RSI website, some of them will have an indicator that says not available. And what that means sometimes is it was available for a concept sale for a brief time, but it is no longer available. And you'll have to wait until it becomes hangar ready before you have another chance to buy it. Now, dogfight ready means that the ship is pretty much complete and it is ready to enter Arena Commander and start fighting or racing. The level of detail on the ship is much more refined. All the damage states for the ship are pretty much finished. The visual effects, audio effects, the final lighting, shadings, textures, and all that stuff, they're all basically complete. Now, this doesn't mean that the ship is 100% complete, because again, Star Citizen is still in early alpha, so as CIG gets feedback from us players racing around in the ships or engaging in dogfighting with the ships, we report various bugs, various changes we think would be pretty neat to have, and the ship might be modified later on based on user feedback. Now, when you have your hangar configured with the ships in the way you want them, you can click on the Save button down below here, and when you do that, this display will come up. Now, in the past, there have been situations where you would click on that, but this green window would not show up. You would have to go back, try to click on it again, maybe 2 or 3 times until it finally came up. I think this bug has been fixed, but something to be aware of. You want to make sure that this green window appears, and then you can close it by clicking on the red X. Now, once all that is done, you start up the actual Star Citizen game itself by clicking on the Star Citizen icon on your desktop. And then this screen will come up where you enter your username and your password, and you sign in, And with a little bit of luck, you get access granted. And then this window will appear, and you click on the launch button. And then the dreaded loading screen will appear. This screen has caused so much confusion for beginners, I can't even tell you. And what happens is, once this loading screen appears, it just sits there, and sits there, and sits there forever. And people think the game is frozen, or the game crashed, or I did something wrong. Why isn't the game doing anything? Well, don't worry about it. Depending in part on how fast your computer is, this loading screen can take anywhere from a minute to 3 or 4 minutes to load. As an example, I have a fairly robust computer, and it takes about a minute and 20 seconds for this loading screen to get finished. So once you get past the loading screen, eventually, this is where you end up, inside your hangar. This is the Revel in York. Here's my sim pod right here. Pretty cool. My holo table for setting up my ship. And what I want to do now is I want to show you guys all the different keyboard commands that are usable inside your hangar for navigating around. I'm not going to show you the holo table or the sim pod at this time, but I just want to show you what keys you use to, well, move around your hangar. So the first one is, or let me get over here first. I want to give you guys something cool to look at. Okay, so let's get started. To move forward, you press W. To move to the left, press A. Move to the right, press D. Backwards, you press S. To run, you do W plus S, like so. As you press Z, you can crawl on the ground, like this. Get into tight spaces. Let's see if I can make it underneath here. Cool. Okay, press Z to stand back up again. Then you can press Control to kneel down, and you can also move in this position too. So it's like you're sneaking. Press Control again to stand back up. Spacebar, jump up and down. Now there are lots of items that can be activated with the use command. Like right there, for example, you press F. Whoops, got my head stuck. To activate various items. Let's go in here. So press F to activate things. And then you can press Insert, First Person View, or press Insert again and get Third Person View, like so. You can also press the Insert key, press the Insert key for Third Person View, and then hold down the G key, and you have sort of a free-form camera. That rotates around your character. And with the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in. How close can I zoom in? That's about as close as I can get. Or you can zoom out, and so on. Press insert, get back in the third person view. You can also press L to bring up your contacts list. I don't have any contacts, so mine is empty. Get rid of it by pressing it again. Press F12 to take a screenshot, which doesn't really show anything, but it just took 3 screenshots right there. Then you can hit the escape key to exit to your menu. So let's go back into the game. Here we go. And those are all of the keyboard commands, at least that I am aware of, that are currently active. And of course, these are subject to change as Star Citizen is developed, since we are still in early alpha. And there you go. Those are all the keyboard commands for getting around in your hangar. And now for some random hangar tidbits. First of all, another person cannot get into your hangar unless you explicitly invite them inside. Also, public transportation is in the works to ferry citizens across space, like back to your hangar. This will come in handy if you take one of your ships to a specialist's shop to have it repaired, and now you have no ship to get back to your hangar, so you could take a shuttle or other form of public transport back to your hangar on some other planet in some other solar system. Now, you are going to have to pay hangar fees, I would assume on a monthly basis or maybe every 3 months, to maintain your hangar. And from what I've heard, these are going to be very, very minuscule fees that are basically trivial. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're destitute and you're flat broke, you can either get a loan to pay off your hangar fees, or you can pick up missions as a crew member aboard other people's ships and make some money that way to pay your hangar fees. Oh, and this next one's pretty cool. The items in your hangar will be movable. Now, right now, they're not. Everything is basically fixed in place. But when the game comes out, for example, you'll be able to move chairs and sofas around, move around tables, so you can do a little bit of interior decorating, so to speak. If you have an asteroid hangar, you will be able to base a lawless organization inside of it. And on a related note, if you have a hangar on Earth and then you decide to become a pirate, you would be best advised to move your hangar to a different planetary system, because that is the heart of UEE space, and you're not going to get along too well hanging out around Earth, let me tell you. Now, if you're caught in a dogfight and your ship gets blown up or you have to eject from your ship, then your hangar is one of the locations where you may end up respawning. And for those of you who have your heart set on 2 or 3 different hangars, that's not going to be a problem, because eventually you will be able to lease or rent other hangars on other planets. And you don't need to worry about your ship or any of your stuff in your hangar getting stolen by anybody. If your ship is in your hangar or any of your other assets are in your hangar, they will always be safe there. No one can steal anything that's in your hangar. Now, one thing that's really neat is eventually organizations, which are basically groups of like-minded players that are organized into a group, will be able to have their own private hangar and share ships between all their members. Also, CIG is playing around with the idea of allowing you to put your own works of art hung up in your hangar. So you can, for example, take your own personal photographs and hang them up in your hangar. That's going to be pretty cool. Now, even after Star Citizen is finally released, your hangar will be continually added to as far as different types of content. And I would imagine these items would be more along the lines of making your hangar more of a personal home base rather than a cold, sterile garage type of an environment. And so there you have it. Everything the beginner needs to know on managing your hangar. If you would like to voice your opinion on this video, please leave me a comment. And of course, if you really want to show support for the channel and encourage me to continue making these videos, please click on the subscribe button below. Until next time, this is Citizen Academy, wishing all of you fame and fortune in the verse.